Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Welcome back to the weekend edition, if you will. And also a number of people, at least around 10 or so, were responding yesterday that my mic volume was too low, or that it has been for the last couple of videos. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Nothing has really changed. I actually bought a separate microphone that was supposed to be used as a travel mic. It doesn't work, so I switched back to the original one. That's the one that you're hearing right now. Long story short, I tried to raise the volume on this one, so I hope that it is a lot better. I tinkered around with it for about an hour because I'm not the tech savviest person, but I think I finally got it to work, especially after all the changes that I was doing between the microphones. So hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully it's clear. Hopefully everything is great as it was before. And on that note, I am going to get started. Ethereum core developers have held their regular meeting on YouTube on the 24th of August on the progress of client implementation and tests of the enterprise integration patterns, or the EIPs, for the upcoming Constantinople hard fork. The meeting started with a discussion of the latest updates on the process of no-proof blockchain tests and the progress achieved on major Ethereum clients, with one of the devs explaining that there is a need to revamp some of the testing to avoid potential consensus issues. This week saw the release of a number of new features. However, the devs noticed one instability with a huge major minor rewrite, which is supposed to be solved by the next update. By Monday, the devs are planning to push out another release to have the whole thing completed and finalize the mining release issue. In terms of the Constantinople hard fork, hardly anything has changed for the last 2 weeks, according to the meeting. The devs reported on several bug fixes and new tweaks for the testnet, also noting that EIP 1211 will not be included in the upcoming hard fork. The devs also came to a decision that it is far better for the network to stay on schedule and release new hard forks in time, as opposed to rushing with involving new EIPs or delaying those ready for implementation at the expense of ones still under development. Speaking about the possibility to have a second hard fork if it is really hard to get the changes bundled for all EIPs for Constantinople, one of the devs said, and I do quote, "If we delay the time, we would want more features to this particular Constantinople hard fork, and we should discuss if it's good to have many changes in one fork, or if it's better to have less changes in many forks," end quote. The devs also decided to release new hard forks every 8 months after the Constantinople hard fork. The proposal of a release every 6 months was rejected, as it would create too much pressure for the devs team. This is probably one of the reasons why I think things have taken so long when it comes to Ethereum. I think there's a lot of pressure on the team. I told you guys before, and it's kind of, it runs into the second story that we're actually going to talk about. In the very beginning, Ethereum wasn't even having a lot of issues. They were kind of, they didn't have enough money. I guess I'll put it that way. And now the fact that they have so many people who are backing them, I'm sure there's at least one bank somewhere out there backing them. They have a number of countries who they have signed memorandums with and stuff like that. So they're under heavy pressure to kind of get the next update, the next shiny thing out there, because the moment that they release something that people have been waiting for a long time, the discussion then turns to, so where's the next one? When's the next update? When's the next hard fork? When's the next split? When is this going to happen? When will you get faster than you promised that you were ready before? So I assume this is why they have chosen the 8 months as opposed to the 6 months. Further discussion was devoted to the issue of adding a difficulty bomb as its impact on the reduction and maintenance of block rewards. According to the devs, EIP 858 would reduce block rewards to 1 ether. 1234 would reduce block rewards to 2 ethers, while EIP 1295 would keep rewards at 3 Ethereum, but it will affect other factors such as the proof of work incentive structure. In order to determine which of these 3 possible scenarios is preferable, the devs called on the community members. Some of the participants pointed out the environmental impact of Ethereum mining, while others insisted on decreasing profitability or even excluding ASIC miners from the Ethereum network. In that end, the participants in the discussion could not reach common ground, so the devs decided to hold another meeting next week on the 31st of August. I have a strong feeling they probably won't come to any conclusions on this date either, simply because I have my own ideas as to how mining should be. A lot of people argue that mining should be energy intensive and that it should take up a large number of resources. Depending on how you think about how things should be mined or even how many Ethereum should be thrown into the system, it seems that everyone has their own thing. As of press time, it has the Ethereum price. Not really that important to talk about. So it appears some things were solved, other things really weren't looked at. I'm not exactly sure what like I told you guys before, when it comes down to a decentralized network, you need to have discussions like this. You can't have just one person kind of controlling everything, kind of how it was for a very long time with Vitalik. But I think he's also come to the conclusion that he can't have the final say on everything. Who knows what's going to happen? Ethereum is in the throes of a great battle that is going to ensue potentially very soon, as no new updates are coming or are scheduled or that we have an actual date for them. Who knows exactly what's going to happen to Ethereum? I give it about a year until they finally, hopefully, have a lot of things ironed out. But at the moment, it is not looking that great because there's just so much indecisiveness when it comes to the project, and so many of the updates have yet to be updated. So this, like I said, it ties into kind of the first story that we were going to. Even though Dash has become a relatively successful cryptocurrency in its own right, it is evident that there is room for improvement. A new proposal has been submitted to demote CEO Ryan Taylor and reduce overall expenses before the project's treasury runs out of money. So far, it has not gotten too much support from the community. It is evident cryptocurrency projects must continue to grow and evolve whenever possible. That is much easier said than done when it comes to collecting the funds necessary to do so. In the case of Dash, the altcoin has put together a system that has worked well for many years. It allowed the cryptocurrency to enter the mainstream, which is more than one could have hoped for in the beginning. At the same time, the expenses are piling up and funding appears to be running out slowly but surely. I'll get back to that in 1 second as well. According to a new proposal on the Dash Central website, it seems to be a matter of time before the Dash core group runs out of money to fund its current activities. It's possible that community members will chip in some funds to delay the inevitable, although a proactive solution seems more than warranted. The Post claims that there is currently a budget of 6,100 Dash. Based on the current price, that translates to roughly $1.2 million. For an altcoin, that should be more than sufficient to keep things going for the foreseeable future. In reality, however, it may prove to be a big problem unless something changes. With the current fluctuating cryptocurrency prices, a lot of potential issues loom ahead. Considering that Dash has expenses of $500,000 per month, funding will seemingly dry up in 3 months. Unless the price recovers or new funding is secured, another option is to reduce costs significantly, which may involve demoting CEO Ryan Taylor to a different function. This move would be a direct result of Taylor allegedly failing to build safety nets for Dash Core Group when the cryptocurrency's price was near its all-time high. I will also try to remember to touch on that as well. While it remains to be seen how dire things will get in the next coming months, the proposal is falling on deaf ears. To fund and advance this proposal, an additional 1,200 yes votes would need to be collected. So far, there are only 95 votes in favor of demoting Ryan Taylor, with 831 no votes. While there are still some big developments coming for Dash, it is evident crunch time is not too far off. This, once again, I don't know if history is repeating itself or what is happening in this world that we live in. Everything is kind of happening around this September timeframe. What's happening is, and this is just my feel on it, you may notice that when there is news about certain cryptocurrencies, there's only news, let's say about around 13 different coins, more or less. I won't say the names of the coins because I'm not going to actually list through all of them. You get the idea of which coins are out there. I think we're entering a period where certain coins are going to be flushed out. I don't know if it's going to be Dash. Don't assume that I'm saying that it's going to be Dash or that I hate Dash or that Dash is this or whatever the case might be. A lot of people have a lot of favorite coins. What's happening is that we're seeing an ecosystem being built around cryptocurrencies, and it's happening very rapidly. And when you hear stock exchanges or banks or mutual funds or hedge funds or retirement funds talking about the coins that they are going to hold or the coins that they are going to be procuring for their fund or for investments or to have institutional investors touching, it's typically Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, maybe Litecoin, and maybe some other random coin that's kind of floating out there. This isn't happening randomly. This is happening on purpose. They're using the people who are getting into it right now are choosing coins that they think that the public will feel comfortable with. To be honest, not many people out there know about Dash. About 2 years ago, not many people knew what XRP was. If you talk to people on the street and ask them, do they know what Bitcoin is? They'll say yes. If you ask them what NEO, EOS, or Kin is, they would look at you as if you are completely insane because they've never heard of them. What I think is happening is that these projects, especially when it said, where was it? That he didn't provide a safety net. When we had the prices going up in December, it's kind of sad, but as humans, we sometimes don't tend to think about the future. And a lot of people thought that these price increases were just the beginning. They thought that the prices would still be continuing right now. I remember last year when we were going over price increases and things happening, people were saying that we were in a new bull market and the bull market would not end until around 2020. So when you have that idea in your head, what it feels like happened on the project is that not only have they raised their expenses to unhuman levels simply because I think that they thought, one, the market would be back up and that they needed to spend a bit more. The fact that I don't know that much about Dash, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. The fact that there is even or are even no votes to demote this person, or even the fact I don't know exactly what the inner workings are, that he doesn't potentially want to take a smaller paycheck, I would just demote myself. If it had to do with something about the actual survival of the coin, I'm more than certain they can probably reduce this 500,000 to around maybe $250,000 per month. It definitely seems possible. I think not a lot of things are actually that. A lot of the things come down to paying your employees and also the security of the network. I'm pretty sure they could actually lower this a lot. If prices don't continue very soon, December is going to be a very difficult month for Dash. And also, like I said before, when people are talking about funding, when people go into CNBC, they're talking about EOS, they're talking about Ethereum, they're talking about buying Bitcoin, they're talking about the funds that are going to have XRP, they're talking about this coin. They're not really talking about Dash. I think a lot of money is flowing out of the Dash system. Regardless of how much you might like a coin, I have tried to say this in the nicest way before, and I'll kind of say it again. The crypto market is slowly not for us anymore. This is why I said if you got in early, or if you are in it right now, you are very lucky, because the way that it's shaping up is I think a lot of the coins that we hear about on the daily basis are going to be completely washed away. And this isn't FUD. I hate the word FUD, but it's true. Like, think about it logically. If this is written on their website and they're talking about that they have 1.2 million left and their costs are 1.5 million, by December, Dash could be one of the coins, unless we have a crazy market hype going back up. But this also kind of goes into the, didn't mean to spend that much time on this, whatever. It's Saturday. It pretty much comes down to I don't know these people, so I can't talk about them, but not really knowing how to manage your money, or not really getting a lot of sponsorships or partnerships, because a lot of other coins have been desperately trying to find other money on the side. Like Ethereum doesn't have this problem anymore. If anything, they have the opposite problem. They have too much funding, too much hope on their back, and they are struggling to be able to get the updates out quick enough. And on the opposite end, we have coins like Dash and a whole bunch of other ones. I've seen at least 7 negative posts about NEO in the last couple of weeks. I don't have the thing in here, and I'm not going to really talk about it. They were talking about, what's it called? The projects that are going to be built on top of NEO are very disappointing, and how they wish that other people would just build on EOS or build on Ethereum. Like, I'm seeing the same pattern over and over, and I'm sure you are as well. When I choose news to talk to you guys about, or that I am talking about, I don't specifically look for just news about Bitcoin, Ethereum, or XRP, as much as many people might think otherwise. I find the most trustworthy websites. I use about 13 of them that I tend to go through back and forth to try and figure out the news, and they tend to only talk about the same coins over and over. Like, it's usually 5, 10, maybe 11, 12 of the same type of coins back and forth. I don't know what the future holds for Dash. I know they've gone through a name change. I think they've I don't know if they've switched hands or something like that, but what exactly is happening? We will see exactly how this ends up playing out. A lot of people are still hoping or saying or dreaming that the next bull run will commence in September, potentially November because of the New York Stock Exchange thing. But keep in mind, one, this is not me telling you where to put your money. Just always read between the lines. When you hear, I guess you can call them megalomaniacs or billionaires or potential future trillionaires talking about the coins that they want to see in the future, the coins that are being integrated into banks, the coins that are being integrated or being used by Microsoft and stuff like that, it's kind of a good indication of where the future is going to go. Didn't mean to spend too much time on this, but things like this have to be spoken about. I told you guys before, I won't always just bring you the happy, jolly news. I think that's very irresponsible. I have to bring the dark clouds as well as the sunny days, so you kind of understand. If you have money in Dash, this gives you about a 2.5-3 month period to decide if you want to continue having your money in there, if you feel that your money is safer somewhere else. Because as of now, there are a lot of other coins that have faced exactly what Dash is going through. There are a lot of other projects who thought that the market hype was going to continue. I'm actually kind of shocked. Typically, when you are investing, maybe these... I said, I don't know these people. I don't know how new they are to investing. You kind of have to cover your back as much as possible. When the market was where it was before, I'm pretty sure some of these people are also invested in other cryptocurrencies. I'm shocked that other people don't buy other investments that will allow them to continue to have some type of funding coming in, even if they're like, you can't be 100% on crypto and then get upset when crypto prices fall down. You always have to have a hedge. You always have to have something that, should you lose funding in one way or your money is not coming in the way that you want from one avenue, you have to have something else, because with a $500,000 per month price tag on their expenses, that seems like a lot. I don't know exactly how much it is for other coins, but let's hope that Dash gets it together. Like I said, Dash, they're not one of my favorite coins. You just don't hear about them that often. There are a lot of other coins you just really don't hear about. What I've noticed as well is, please pay attention over the last couple of weeks. I have seen an enormous amount of bots on this channel, and I know they're bots because 15 people post the exact same comment. And also there's a lot of I guess a lot of new ICOs are coming out in the next couple of months, because I've been seeing, I don't know how they managed to make it through, but there's a lot of things for ICOs telling people to buy it, and I've noticed a couple of people in the comment section trying to get information from them. Be very wary. This is once again the anticipation that the market is going to potentially go back up in the next couple of months, not even months. So just be wary of where you're putting your money. Pay attention to what you have your money in already. Make sure to read as much as possible about what you have your money in, because heaven forbid, should something be going down and I forget to cover it or don't find the news to cover it that day, and then you end up losing out on your money. Anyway, that is more or less the Ethereum sliding into the Dash news for today, about them potentially having funding issues. And also on the other side, think about it, this means that no one is coming to their rescue. Typically, when other projects are having like a hard time getting funds, there's usually always some type of investor who comes from the shadows and says that I will save you. But I assume that these money problems have been going on for a couple of months. They may not have been able to find someone who is willing to even give the project money. Think about that. Next up, mainstream media network CNBC has become an unlikely Bitcoin hero this week after an analyst showed its bull and bear forecasts were, in fact, signs the cryptocurrency would do the opposite. That's kind of funny. In a submission on TradingView, Jacob Canfield noted how various tweets from CNBC about Bitcoin going higher or lower coincided with abrupt U-turns in the cryptocurrency price direction. Almost every single bullish tweet we've seen has been at the top of nearly every single rally, giving us a very strong sell signal. With every bearish tweet we see, it could be a clear indicator of a short reversal and the end of a rally, he summarized. CNBC is one of the more vocal mainstream outlets on Bitcoin, featuring daily coverage of price movements and related events. It also has dedicated hosts, including investment manager Brian Kelly, hinting about when to buy. The network also controversially last year published a series of tweets endorsing altcoin Bitcoin Cash and lambasting Bitcoin as inferior. If you have noticed, that has almost all but stopped. I assume whoever owns CNBC also owns Bitcoin and told them to stop talking about Bitcoin Cash. Based on its history, Canfield says CNBC as a reversal indicator is around 95% accurate on Bitcoin's price. He said, and I quote, "With every bearish tweet, we typically see on average a 30% return. In the last week, we've seen 3 bearish tweets from Twitter, which gave us a clear indication to go long here." He also continued referring to a price chart, price movements after the tweet. He said, based on our 30% averages, we should see a strong rally back to the $8,500 area, where we will then wait for more bullish or bearish tweets to let us know which way we are going. Isn't that weird to think? Okay, following the post, CNBC reportedly contacted Canfield and invited him to appear on one of its cryptocurrency-related news segments. Infamous Bitcoin naysayer Robert Schiller and well-known bull Tom Lee have also been featured. So don't use this as financial advice, but that is very interesting. There were people in the comment section below around 3 or 4 weeks ago. I do not remember who you are, what your username is. They were saying the same exact thing. They said every single time that CNBC tells you to buy something, you should probably do the exact opposite. If they say things are looking a lot lower, there was always some type of a price rally. I think it's fascinating that people figured that out, that there was a direct correlation between CNBC. To be fair, this has actually also happened in many other markets before. A lot of other people, and not even just in stocks, in any other commodity, people were saying that the moment that CNBC spoke about it, we had to listen to what they were saying about it and pretty much do the opposite. I don't know exactly why they had that effect. I don't know if it's people just don't really like or care for CNBC, or if people are, if it's, what's the word? If it's like a purpose misdirection, because what has happened on a lot of other financial shows on like CNBC and CNN and all the other letters, typically if you tell someone to buy a stock on television and the stock price goes down, then you are in trouble for it. So maybe they're doing something where like they're telling people not to buy when they should actually buy it, so that it's kind of the opposite of what who knows exactly what they're doing, but 95% accuracy is a little scary, which means that this is happening far too often. I think I've only watched a couple of the CNBC shows on my computer just to see exactly what they talk about on cryptocurrencies. It's very interesting to note that over the course of a 2-year period, you have news channels talking about crypto is dead, crypto's gone, why are people investing in Bitcoin, stocks are at an all-time high, and then we go to like, it's almost like these animated shows. If you have a chance or have CNBC, or I'm pretty sure you could even YouTube it, like YouTube CNBC Bitcoin news or something like that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll find the people talking about it. They have these like animated charts. There's a guy who wears like a Bitcoin tie. He kind of flops around on stage and he points at this and he touches that and talks about all-time lows and all-time highs are here and we're expecting this. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, I guess you could say it that way. Next up, I'm not going to spend an enormous amount of time on this. People were asking before about Kick's Kennet app, as it was on the Android buying place store, Android store. Apparently, it is now on the iOS. Kennet application users can set up Ken wallets in quick, simple steps while engaging in intuitive activities to earn Ken tokens. Users can also access the Ken marketplace, comprising of a variety of brands and retailers. Apparently, this happened on the 22nd of August. It is now on the iOS store. I think it's still not accessible to people outside of the States. I tried, didn't work. But I know a lot of other people, I think in Canada, it may also be working as well. A lot of people apparently like it. When you look at how many downloads they have, it's not that many, simply because I think they're only allowed or maybe have not rolled out throughout the rest of the world yet. Hopefully that happens soon. But like I said, a lot of people were asking why they could not get it on iOS. It is apparently on iOS now, so go out there and earn some money. I don't know how else to really say that or end this. Anyway, next up, the Central Bank of Curaçao and Saint Martin, the CBCS, has announced a partnership with blockchain technology firm BIT, aimed at exploring the issuance of a digital currency for Curaçao and Saint Martin island nations. Per the chief executive of BIT, Rawdon Adams, a digital currency will be especially relevant to the two countries, who are both constituent countries of the Netherlands and which share the same monetary union. This is because the risks and costs incurred by the CBCS is in printing and distributing physical cash across the monetary union will be greatly reduced. Additionally, it will be convenient for citizens and residents of the region. A digital bank-issued currency which can be used on mobile wallets facilitates secure and frictionless financial transactions and payments using a mobile tablet within each jurisdiction and across jurisdictions in the monetary union. This was said by Adams in a statement. He said again, this solution is particularly powerful in the case of cross-border transactions, which can take days within a monetary union, and the cost of which is also increasing. According to Leila Matros-Lastin, the acting president of the CBCS, the longest surviving reserve bank in the Americas, having been founded in 1828, a digital currency will be more compliant with Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering policies and processes. They said the CBCS here within recognizes the transformative potential of innovation and technology and is committed to exploring solutions regarding efficiency of cross-jurisdictional transactions and digital payments whilst ensuring compliance and security assurances obtained by the state-of-the-art fintech solutions. This would be beneficial to everyone. Not going to read anymore. I thought for a while, that it would take at least 2, 3, 4, 5 years for countries to get into not only the crypto game, but start using crypto and or digital currencies in order to send money back and forth. We have at least 10 to 15 different nations or countries or land masses around the world who have all announced that they are going to be creating their own digital currency or are going to be using digital currency, typically one that they have created. What we've heard before from, it could either be misdirection or who knows what it is. A lot of the major central banks around the world or mega banks or whatever you want to call them have announced that they think that it is detrimental to the economy for these governments or entities to switch over to digital currency simply because they think that it will dismantle the current economic world that we have, whatever you kind of way you want to phrase it. This could mean a couple of things. It could mean that digital currencies could destabilize in a very bad way the entire economy, not just because So what they've been doing is that they've been creating their own digital currencies or basing a digital currency on their previous currency or current one. A lot of people have been doing it to get away from U.S. sanctions. A lot of people have been doing it for the ease of sending money back and forth. No one really knows what's going to happen. It is still predicted that a lot of the smallest economies in the world who do not either have enough money to create their own digital currency, who are going through massive hyperinflation, or something is just completely wrong with their money, will eventually adopt Bitcoin. Don't know how likely that is, at least in the near future, but we are still getting estimates of around 2021 for this to start happening, which is happily scary. I don't know. It's kind of a weird idea to think that something that was created only a couple years ago could become a currency for any major country. Oh, and also on that side note, a lot of comments yesterday were saying that they still use cash in Sweden. I may have said something that rubbed people the wrong way. The point is not that Nordic countries are not using money. It's that the governments are trying to get them to go cashless. It's the same exact thing in the Netherlands. There are a lot of places when you walk around and you try to go into a shop, it says no cash, card only. Or they're trying to get you to use some type of app because the idea of cash for governments is very unsavory, as they cannot keep track of all of this. If you have it on your phone or it is digital, they know exactly where every single 1 and 0 is going. They can always keep track of it. And also, I told you before, one of the major problems with a country creating their own digital coin is that as far as them being able to see every transaction that you are doing and seeing where all the money is at any given time, they will also have a button or sequence of numbers that will be able to stop payments and or halt the use of the currency itself. They will all have a type of kill switch, which is not too good considering you want to be able to control your own money. So on the flip side, having a digital currency or cryptocurrency, the ones that we already have being used, that has a decentralized network that cannot be stopped by governments, is very good. But I think if we get up to that point where countries start announcing that they're going to be using Bitcoin and or Ethereum or any other coin, we're going to have a mad rush in price because governments are going to be buying it up. before normal citizens can even realize what's actually happening or that they can profit from it. All right, everyone, that is definitely going to do it for this video. I hope the mic sounded better. I increased, I think, at least 4 or 5 bars before making this. I hope it's not too loud. It shouldn't be too loud. I listened to a, what's it called? I listened to like a sample of a test, if you will, before I made the video. It sounded okay. It sounded a lot louder, even at a lower level on my computer. So let's hope that it works out for all of you. I hope you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, and or evening and weekend, depending on when you're listening to this video. Thank you once again for all your support and or listening, watching. I never know how to end these things. Thank you once again, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.